And now we go into the film review.
Into the notes.
What the F happened, a.k.a. Treasure Hunters. Let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
Chiefs defense versus the Dolphins offense.
Offense? You're from England.
That's exactly, right? It was appropriate. It was a mess-up that actually worked out. It was a one-touchdown game, but for most of the game, the Dolphins could get nothing going offensively here. So we start out with the most basic question. From your deep dive into the film study, how did the Chiefs slow down the greatest show on English turf?
All right, so let me dive into like my thesis statement, right? Basically, okay. And here what I would say, and I put on you're going to see a few videos on social media today too. You know, dominate the line of scrimmage, dominate the edge, great mixture of coverages and fronts, played 2 deep coverages for the most part, but not the whole game. Right, and different 2 deep coverages. That's why I say, you know, it's not just like, oh, Tampa 2. It's different versions of things. Tactical when playing man coverage, and the Chiefs were good when they did play man, and then, of course, the tactical blitzing on first and second down that you hear me talk about with Spags or any team that plays these great offenses, you got to be willing to do it. They have incredible depth, talent, and team speed. They won first and second down throughout the day, you know, and then Dolphins and Tua, as we've talked about too, can you get them to third down? And that's where it was important that the Chiefs won first and second down because they got the the Dolphins to third down. And people go, and I've had a few people go, well, what's that matter? Well, because third down, you don't have to worry about the run game, reverses, some of the screen passes, all that goes out the door, especially if it's 3rd and 5 or plus. So now you can go, let's just play pass coverage and mess with the protections and Tua's mind and reading the coverages and all of that. I think that's where they were really good.
Let's show that, because I think that's a very interesting graphic. So Miami is top 3 in almost every offensive category.
Right.
They're just like lights out. But they are 17th in third down conversion rate this year at 39.6%.
Yes.
Miami had 1 3rd and short all game long. They just had 1 all game long, and so they struggled again in that category. So that's interesting. A key is first and second down.
Because you get them to third down, Tua's not a strong-arm quarterback that's always going to be like, hey, everybody knows I'm passing, so I'm going to throw a laser in a tight window, right? That's the first thing. 2, they don't have good pass protection, so therefore you feel like, oh, we could collapse the pocket. And 3, Tua's not the best, oh, I'm going to stand in the pocket with the pocket collapsing type of quarterback anyways, let alone, like you said, you don't have to worry about some of the McDaniels tricks. And to me, that was the other part of my thesis statement was don't let the McDaniels special beat you, right? Some of the screens and creative plays that he comes up with. In this game, the only thing that was kind of off the charts creative or whatever that worked for them was a few reverses. Other than that, they couldn't find some of those cheap ways to get explosive plays like they do on most weeks. And again, I think that was another big part of the game and why the Chiefs won. And adding on that to, like we said, the first and second down, and I know a part we want to hit on is the strategic blitzing, right? That's where, like, Spags is special. And you got to be willing, to me, when you're like you've heard me say, and we've talked about the Dolphins, the Eagles, you got to be willing to take a few chances on first and second down and go, I'm going to bring this blitz. I know it might leave this one area voided, but I can't stop everything their offense does on first and second down. So we're going to take a tactical chance. I'm going to call this blitz because if they do this formation or this personnel set, that I feel kind of like I got a clue of what they do on the offensive side of the ball, so I'll take a chance. And for this game, it was corner blitzes. Spags is the best corner blitz defensive coordinator in football. Every week he kind of sends a few, and when you don't think it. And early on in this football game, he sent a few, and it got Miami thinking about it, worried about it on the sidelines, and, of course, got them behind the chains a few times that set up the Chiefs' defense for success.
Yeah, per PFF, Kansas City uses the defensive back blitz on 20% of their plays this season. That is 3rd most in the NFL. The Vikings do it a lot. I saw this graphic on Brian Flores. It's like sending 6-man pressures at a 30% clip or something like that.
Well, because I know he's got some of the same beliefs I'm talking about. He's going, I don't care how perfectly I coach our defense. With some of these offenses right now, you can't be right or sound with everything they're doing to you. So you got to turn the tables and put the pressure on them a little bit and go, I'm doing this today. What are you going to adjust to it? Because this is going to plays up by you, and you better adjust off it or not call some of these plays. And I think that's where it's great. And the other thing I think where they both realize that Spags or Flores is where they've stopped this, oh, you want to bring your receiver in tight so we can't jam him, or now he can use the natural pick. Well, you want to bring our corner closer? Well, we're going to put our corner up there to jam him. We don't care that he might get picked a little bit. And we might blitz him from time to time. And you don't know when he's coming, and it's going to mess up some of your plays, and I think that's the reason they do it. The Dolphins do a lot of those tight splits, and that's when it invited the Chiefs to kind of be daring and bring those blitzes.
New England's another team that pressures and sends that corner blitz.
Same type of thing, I'm sure. Right.
So in this game, 4 of the 9 plays in the fourth quarter, the Kansas City Chiefs blitzed their defensive back, and so they really amped it up in the fourth quarter as this game went on. And I think we have some screenshots of this too for Tua especially. I think this was, 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Pete, do we have these screenshots? Okay, yep, hold on, okay. We'll play elevator music. Oh, there it is. Oh, and we've boxed in the people. Well done here, Pete, Kristen, Gabby, and crew. Yes.
Yeah, no, and this is fourth
5 minutes
quarter,
to
right?
go,
5 minutes, fourth quarter. And, that they're great at, and throughout the day, they did send some 5-man pressures, right? The Chiefs, and before we show the next picture, let me just lay this out there, Pete, a little bit. The Chiefs are great at blitz 1, drop 1. Blitz 2, drop 1, right? So, and then they have people standing in the line of scrimmage, so they confuse your protection schemes. Spagnuolo is the best at exposing protection schemes in all of football. Added to the fact that they can be emboldened by blitzing and doing that because they can play man-to-man. They're one of the few teams, like we talked about the Eagles versus the Dolphins a few weeks ago. 1, have size, right, to mess up with their offensive line. But 2, when you turn on the game, most weeks you turn it on and go, man, the Dolphins are so fast. They're so much faster than the other team. And you turn on this game and you go, they're not much, if faster at all, than the Chiefs. And that's kind of how I felt when I watched the Eagles game. It just went, okay, yeah, this is a short pass by Tyreek, but, man, they're corralling him and running him down in a hurry here as a team in the back end. And the Chiefs, I would argue, their back 7 is as fast as anybody in football, especially when they have Nick Bolton and Willie Gay in there healthy. So here, let's look at this play. Again, you got to be willing to take some tactical chances against the Dolphins. So it's trips left, a receiver tight to the right. It doesn't, from this look right here, Ahmed, a quarterback would not be programmed to think there's a blitz here. They got 3 receivers to the left and only 2 DBs, right? So you're going, they can't blitz one of the DBs and have 1 DB covering 3 receivers? How could that be? So let's go to the next clip here, Pete. And you'll look at it. There's McDuffie at the top of the screen. He's going to come off the edge. Karlaftis on the bottom of the screen. He goes in and drops back. And now what you got is a 4-man rush where now they're late to adjust to McDuffie coming off the edge, and they've dropped back and played Tampa 2 behind it, right? So they gave the illusion a little bit at snap that it was just going to be this normal 4-man rush. Then you think, okay, everything's good. You're kind of getting there. You're going, wait, that guy over there can't blitz, so we're good all the way here. Oh, wait, he is blitzing. And then their top pass rusher on their team is dropping back on the other side, and we got people blocking nobody on one side, and then we don't even have enough people on the other side. And Tua, who's looking to his right, thinks he's probably okay here because he's going, wait, I got 5 blockers. They got 4 rushing. I should be good. But the way it was lined up and the way the Spags lines up the defense stresses out that protection, and then there goes Trent McDuffie coming around the edge getting the sack.
Should Tua not have looked to the left, though, because it seems like they had the number. They were winning the numbers game even if they didn't blitz there.
They should have, like, you mean for the concept to the left, right? You should have looked at that. Well, the play here, he can work both sides. He does have, like, to what he's looking at on the right, that concept is good for this coverage, okay? So it's a cover 2 concept where they're trying to high-low L'Jarius Sneed. The problem, and why he shouldn't look to the left here, the center, left guard, and left tackle all slid left. And they have the 2 D linemen picked up. They should be able to pick out the third. But Teron Armstead, who hasn't been playing because he's been injured, he was a little late to recognize. And as you can see on this picture right here, was late to bump out to get McDuffie because you could see they got guys on guys. They should be okay.
Yeah.
It's just they didn't adjust it and see quick enough.
I mean, there's so many fascinating things here, and I know we got to move on to the next one. But another one that you've pointed out already a couple of times is the physicality that they chose to
no doubt
use on the wide receivers for the Dolphins.
You stop. You can't let Tyreek Hill have free releases, right? They had some plays where they jammed the shit out of Tyreek Hill, like to the point where you go, I don't see Tyreek Hill get caught like this at the line of scrimmage, right? That's where I think the Chiefs' comfort of we've practiced against him before, like L'Jarius Sneed, he snuck him a few times and got him. But even whether it was zone or man, they challenged him and never really let him have free access releases. He was going to have to adjust and stutter and try to set you up every time. And we've talked about that in other weeks. You can't just let him fly up on your safety and be like, hey, safety, you got Tyreek Hill flying at you 100 miles per hour, and he can go any way he wants. Good luck covering him. Oh, yeah, you're supposed to cover him. Yeah, good luck. There's no way. So that's where they did a really good job. And you play the Dolphins, get them to third down like we talked about. Stop the edge runs. Where it's another thing we've talked about. They love the toss cracks. We're going to get the toss crack. We're going to have a receiver or tight end split out, and he's going to block down on your DN and your linebackers. And now we're going to get the edge, and Raheem Mostert's a track star. The good teams stopped that. The Eagles, the Chiefs, they blew up those blockers, and they never let them get outside the whole game and basically forced them back inside. And then don't let the McDaniel specials, which I call them, beat you, which was the screens, the fumble by Tyreek Hill that could return for a touchdown, a McDaniel special. But because they're playing aggressive, in-your-face, man-to-man type coverage, two-man on that play, right? They recognize it right away. And you could see from the early on, one of the first plays of the game, they try to throw a wide receiver screen. They were so all over it and ready to stop that kind of stuff going on throughout the day because once that goes off, you're screwed. Then it's, now they're getting 20 yards on screen plays. Now they're faking the screen, and we're all overreacting, and people are downfield doing that. There's just, it's a snowball of bad things that can happen once you let those few things happen, and they did a great job stopping
I
them.
love it. It's why I love when these good teams face off against the other good teams because you really see.
You see the flaws, the strengths, and where they need to fix, or there's an issue, no doubt about it. It is the fun part of it,
The Chiefs and Dolphins both on a bye, so maybe Mike McDaniel's got to get back into the lab and figure out an adjustment now that some of these good teams have figured some things out.
Yo, what up, homies? Thanks for watching. Remember, subscribe to Chris Simms Unbuttoned. Right now, we got Sunday pod, right? So you can have it Monday morning. We recap all the action. Wednesday, it's the What the Happened podcast. We're going to get deep in the weeds on the key matchups of the week. And then Thursday, I'm picking games with that jerk Florio. So you know where to find us, homies. Keep watching. Peace out. We'll see you.